762, I'm Henrik Jørs. Today I'll be talking about focus mids, striking pads. A love child has many names. These come in many forms, and we'll talk about how to use them and what they're used for. When you use a heavy bag, you can train on your own. For these, of course, you need to be two persons, one to strike and one to hold the pads. And the pad man, as it is called, is very important, because if he doesn't know what he's doing, this exercise will mess up completely. So this is pretty important in my point of view. As you can see, they come in many forms, some bigger, some smaller. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter that much about the size, because every pad has a sweet spot, which is exactly inside the hand. And of course, the pad should be made so that sweet spot that is visible in the pad is actually also in your hand. And you should be very careful not to hit the pad down here or up here on the outside, because then the pad man's hand will be bent in all kind of direction, and it will be bloody annoying to hold the pads for someone who doesn't take care to be precise. So obviously these are for precision, and they are unforgiving in that way that you can punch a punching bag, and where you hit, that was a target, and no one can adjust you there because you said, well, I wanted to hit that spot and I did. Here, either you hit it straight on or you don't. So this is very unforgiving, and the padman will let you know if you don't hit it right. And if you're not a jerk, you can also see it yourself, see that the pad is moving in all kinds of directions, so take care. These pads can be used in many ways, and usually the padman will call out certain strikes and hold up the pads. I'm using two different here, but that doesn't matter. And he will hold them up to receive the strikes. In most cases, you will strike at an angle to the opposite pad, meaning that when I hold up my right hand, you will strike with your right hand to this, and you will strike with your left hand to my left pad. Otherwise, if you would strike in a straight line just with your left hand to the right pad, you would be standing like this, and it wouldn't be good boxing. You need to go like this in order to be precise and learn good striking technique. So the basic way to hold the pads, you go like this for straight punches, you can go like this for hooks, and you can go like this for uppercuts. Some people hold the pads like this for two different uppercuts, some hold them like this. I prefer the last method, but that's up to you. When you hold them for hooks, and I'll return to that when we talk about the hook in another video. When you hold them from hooks, some people hold them like this. But it is a rare moment in a fight where you can go hook, hook, because the hook opens you up to counter boxing. So if you are getting used to delivering hooks with each arm, I'll say they're not really doing you a favor teaching you that, because you'll become very open. Normally I hold the pads like this, so we ask for a double hook. One high and one low, or one low and one high. But I'll return to that in coming videos. The padman should also always move a bit. He can change the angle a bit, but only tiny steps. He shouldn't suddenly go like this, because then they will have to run the entire round around him, and that's stupid. I've seen padmen do stupid stuff like that, so it's not like it's something I make up. But small angles, like a real fighter would do, that will force the striker to move with those angles. You can also change the distance by getting closer or getting away from the striker, so you force the striker to move back and forth, and that can be a real good lesson. What do you use the pads for? Contrary to the power bag, the punching bag, you'll never use the pads for striking hard. No padman is really well off with you taking your time and then firing off power shots into the pads. It bloody hurts and it's annoying, and you could do that on the punching bag. There's no need for a padman for that. So what we need first and foremost is technique, technique, technique. Are your punches done with good form or not? A good coach, a good pad man will adjust you, correct you, tell you what you're doing wrong. Are you looping your punches? Are you out of balance? Do you forget to cover your head? All this stuff. Also, you can use this for precision. Do you actually hit the target? A pad man can move the target up and down a bit, out to the sides, into the middle a bit, to ensure you can always hit the sweet spot right on and not hit the sides of the glove, the pad. So first form, then precision, and then lastly, when you have these two in check, speed. And you can train a lot of good speed with pads. So these are fantastic tools. Before I show you something with these, I'll just talk about what not to do. When you absorb a punch, you should place the pad in the place where the opponent's, the target is supposed to be, and then you should let the fighter strike that target. Because it sometimes hurts to absorb the strike. A lot of padmen have the stupid habit of catching the strikes very early on. Of course, you should catch the strike in that way that when the strike comes to you, you should absorb it. So you shouldn't just have your hand up like a flap and then go boom when you strike. You should absorb the strike. But you should not move your hand forward and catch the strike. By doing that, you rob the fighter of two very important informations. Is he spot on? Is he precise? If you actually move the pad forward towards the strike, well, he's always precise because you help him catch that sweet spot. The other one is the distance. You rob him from the important information. Is his distance correct? And that is why you even see professional fights where people use first, second, third round sometimes to find the correct distance. Because they have grown up with padmen and coaches who catch all the strikes, so they are taught to do small little strikes which never is in the correct distance. And some people will probably object to this because we see professional coaches doing this shit. But I'll say it's one of the worst things I can tell you about padmen is this habit of catching all the strikes even before they are fully extended. That's bullshit. So what can you do with these? First off, you can train the technique. That will be the coach or the padman walking around with the pupil and calling out for, say, 1-2s and adjusting them. You're out of balance when you fire off your rear cross. You're out of balance when you jab, or your jab is telegraphed because you lift your elbow or stuff like that. That is teaching technique. The next thing you can do is teaching combinations. I'll return to combinations in many videos in the future because combinations is what wins fights. A combination is a pattern that you have trained for some time of different strikes or even kicks, if that is allowed in your sport. That can be kneeing, elbowing, everything within that combination if it's allowed in your sport. But what is important here is you create a sensory overload. You hit the other guy so many times that his conscious mind can never really get to the same level as his nervous system. He's hit multiple times over the body and his mind is not following that fast enough, and then you can hit him with that one strike he doesn't see. A typical combination can be 1, 2 and then a hook. That's very common. Another one you'll see often is 1, 2, hook, uppercut. These combinations, you have to do them over and over, and doing them with a padman is really good training. The last way that I usually use these are the padman doing rounds with a striker, calling out for all sorts of different strikes, and the striker is simply trying to keep up. That is great stamina training, and that is great speed training. Also, as a padman, you should show the target, and when it's hit, take it away. You shouldn't just be standing like this, because we need 1-2s to go bam bam. We don't need them to go bum 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 bum. We need bum 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 and nothing more. So show the target, away with the target. Show the target, away with the target, all the time. Now we'll go outside and I'll show you how to use this in the different ways. There are many ways to use these striking pads. If you train with a body, take turns. We all know this asshole who says, I would like to have 5 rounds where you hold the pads. And then when it's your turn to strike, he says, I have to go home. My girlfriend has cooked me some dinner or something like that. Nobody wants to train with this asshole. So take turns. You hold the pads, he holds the pads, you hold the pads, he holds the pads. That way you can also adjust each other, because it's not all people who are very good at holding these pads. So you have to learn. But let's go outside and see what we can do with them. Okay, first we'll try a single technique. Even advanced students and masters can benefit from repeating the same technique many times. That's the only way you bring a good thing up to perfection. We'll just take a straight punch with the rear hand to start with. I have my good friend Tommy here, who is a 2nd degree black belt in Kyokushin, and we'll just do the straight punch right away. Okay. Okay. The other thing we'll do today is simple combinations. You can add on, so you start out with 2 strikes, then 3 strikes, 4 strikes, and so on. I'll say some combination with 10 strikes, it doesn't make sense, because you'll never get to execute them in a real fight. What we'll do today is a simple 1-2 hook combination, but that's a really good thing to put in your arsenal too. Okay. One of the really fun things you can do with striking pads or focus mitts is freestyling, where the padman calls out the combination and strikes he wants, and the striker tries to follow up. This is also great stamina training and something you can have a lot of fun with. So let's see it. Hook! 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 Hava! Hava! Hito! 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 Jab! Come, jab! Hook! Hook! Hava! Hook! 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 Hava! Hava! Hook! 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 Hava! Hito! 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 Hook!